Welcome in everybody to Fantasy Pros. It's me, Joe Pisapia, and this is the live stream for week 2, where we are going to answer your questions, give you the latest in the updates. And there's a whole lot to get through, boys and girls. Remember in the preseason, we said, oh, what a nice preseason. There weren't a lot of injuries to deal with. Things felt so clean and easy. And here we are. It's madness in week 2. In the last 24 hours, there's been more than we could almost handle. But don't worry, we're here to handle it all. Andrew Erickson is here with me as well to help me get all of the right guys in our lineups and all the wrong ones out of it. So Andrew Erickson, as we're starting here in this right now, let's start with the New Orleans situation here. Let's talk about what's going on in that game. It looks like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be missing a lot of pieces in this game, potentially. We have a game time decision for Julio Jones, and we've also got some issues too with Alvin Kamara being out. So take it away from here. What's your assessment so far? What's going on in this game from a fantasy perspective?
Yeah, you can tell a lot from this game that both teams are dealing with injuries because the total on the game has plummeted since it first opened. So now it's hovering around a little bit over 42, 43. So there's a lot of concerns just from the betting side of things that this game is not going to be filled with as many offensive fireworks as we like and hope that it would when it first came out. So even Winston is dealing with a back injury. You have the Saints up against a very tough Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. So there's concerns about there. And Tampa Bay's defense is, for the most part, pretty healthy across the board. So Mark Ingram looks slated to kind of be the pseudo RB1 for the Saints. He was in that role a couple times last year. He performed pretty well. He was a top 12 running back in both games that he played as the starter. But now we're hearing reports coming out that he's going to split carries with Tony Jones Jr. Ingram was also on the injury report this week with an ankle injury.
Mhm.
He's also 33 years old. So again, Mark Ingram is not here, I think, to save your lineup or your team. I really think Ingram is a play as you have no one else to start in your RB2 slot, and you just need to start a running back because he's going to see some type of volume in this matchup. So that's really the only play with Ingram. You're not excited to play him. Oh, I got to play Ingram in my flex. No, like there
No.
are other wide receivers that I would rather take a shot on, even some of these ambiguous situations. Rather take a shot at like a Paris Campbell than a guy like Mark Ingram in a PPR format, just to be like, hey, if he gets the targets in an offense that doesn't have their number one wide receiver in Pittman, okay, you could see Paris Campbell having a decent day. Whereas Ingram, you're just looking at some floor. Like he's got to score a touchdown. That's what you're hoping for, catching passes out of the backfield. So those are concerns for the Saints backfield. And then on the Tampa Bay side, it seems like everyone on their every one of their wide receivers is injured in some capacity. Now we expect everyone to suit up and play. But what does that actually mean? Well, Julio Jones has never been someone that's played a full snap share on offense. So the fact that he's been dealing with this knee injury that he suffered in last week's game, I mean, I would figure we're going to probably see him closer to around a 50% snap share, not 75% like we saw last week. Probably see more of Russell Gage, assuming that he's up to full health with Chris Godwin already ruled out completely, as opposed to playing and starting last week's game. So Gage wasn't on the field nearly as much. Mike Evans has been dealing with a hamstring injury, but that's kind of the part of the course with him. But with him, it's more about the matchup he has against Marshawn Lattimore. So factoring that he's a little bit banged up, Mike Evans, you're really hoping he just calls in two passes and they just both happen to be in the end zone. Like that's really kind of what you're hoping from a Mike Evans, which he has done before. Like, yes, Lattimore has limited his yardage totals, but there's touchdown equity with Mike Evans, and that you cannot overlook that. So when Leonard Fournette also dealing with a hamstring injury, like make sure Rachaad White's not on your waiver wire. Like number one thing you need to do this morning is make sure Rachaad White is not hanging out there. He would be the next guy in line should Fournette retweak this hamstring injury, even though I do think it's still a good matchup for Fournette, assuming that he does end up playing at full health, because they're going to feed him. I really think they're going to feed him. They showed a willingness to run the football a lot more than they did last year in Tampa Bay's offense, and they have to protect Brady up front because they have injuries on the offensive line. So if they're dropping back to throw 40 times in this game, that's not good. Like that is not good for Tom Brady and company. Tom Brady's going to get sacked. Tom Brady's going to get hit. And unlike what
Mhm.
the Saints did last week when they gave up big plays to Marcus Mariota is a mobile quarterback, and the Falcons use a lot of play action. Those are two things that the Buccaneers offense does not do. So it's a really bad matchup basically across the board. And honestly, if I have Tom Brady, I am trying to sit him in this matchup. I have Tom Brady pretty much buried in my rankings. I have him at QB 16. Like if I
That's
see
about where
Carson
I've
Wentz,
got him too. Yeah.
yeah, if I got Carson Wentz on the waiver wire and I can drop somebody, I don't want to drop Brady for Wentz, but if I have a piece that I can move and pick up Wentz just to start this week, I'm going to do that. So, yeah, not liking a lot of this game from a DFS perspective. It seems like it's going to be a slog, one of these divisional slugfests that's probably going to end up you want to play the defenses in this game. That's really
Right. Yeah.
the key play here.
Yeah, it's certainly a muddy field right now. And as we continue on, I want to remind everybody, make sure you subscribe to Fantasy Pros. We're going to talk about the giveaway in a second here. Before we do, hit that like button. Also, very important, you hit the like button. I know our buddy Troy is running the stream solo for the first time today, so give him a nice thumbs up. Support our people here who are working very hard behind the scenes. You see us, but let's support the technical people by liking the stream. All right, give some love. It's a nice thing to do. Andrew Erickson, it would be nice if Michael Pittman was playing today, but he is not. I know a lot of people are looking to Paris Campbell. I mentioned on the TV show this morning that maybe a guy like Sterling Shepard's another guy you can pick up off the waiver wire and stream this week. Those are some of the options we might be looking at. What are your expectations for this Colts passing game as a whole? Do you think they fill this void, or do you think it's just Jonathan Taylor all day?
It makes more sense for them to approach it with Jonathan Taylor, go heavy on the run game, using both running backs, whether it's Taylor and Naeem Hines, especially because we have, we talked about weather last week in that San Francisco Bears game. We do have some weather in Jacksonville. It's raining. So it's supposed to rain throughout the day. It's not necessarily the torrential downpour, but it's just another reason for the Colts to be like, hey, like, let's get away from the passing game. Like, let's move away. So we know we saw Matt Ryan throw for over 300 passing yards last week without his number one wide receiver, with less than stellar weather. It just seems like it's just slated up for Jonathan Taylor to have that massive rushing game where he's going to run the ball 30 times for, 150 yards. It doesn't really matter, what the Jags are going to be doing on defense. If you're going to run the ball 30 times, like, he's going to get over 100 rushing yards. So I think that you probably want to try to get away from these Colts players as best you can. Even like a guy like Paris Campbell, yeah, there should be target volume for there, but if they just take the ball out of Matt Ryan's hands, then that's not necessarily going to be the case. I think that this is another game that's interesting from a defensive standpoint, where you could see a lot of guys slipping, a lot of mistakes, turnovers, especially how often the Jaguars like to throw the ball. You could see a lot of interceptions from Trevor Lawrence. Guys are falling down.
Well, the
I
beat
think
was just reporting, Andrew, that they were talking about really a run-heavy attack today, not just because of the weather, but because they feel like, maybe they were a little too committed to throwing the football last week and using ATN, using James Robinson, and utilizing what they have in that backfield, that's nice. I mean, a lot of teams right now would kill to have one of those guys, let alone both of them, to work. J.K. Dobbins also looks like he is going to be out for this game, and a lot of people looking to the waiver wire there. It looks like Allen Lazard is going to play, so that's a positive. We're going to get to all these news, notes, get to your questions too. Before we get to them, I want to remind everybody, make sure you subscribe. And when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can go ahead and ask your start sit questions, your trade questions, whatever you got, even your life questions. We'll get them all over here. And of course, when you're a subscriber of Fantasy Pros, don't forget, we're going to be giving away a DJ Moore autographed jersey thanks to our good pals at pristineauction.com. Then the only way you can get notified is by clicking that little bell for notifications so you know if you won. So subscribe, ask a question. That's how you get entered, and click the bell for notifications so you know when that announcement happens. It could be you who wins that glorious, beautiful blue jersey. Look at that jersey. It's sexy. It's hot. It's good. It could be right on your mantle. You could wear it. You can hang it up in a nice frame. Do whatever you like. I've got my Andrew Erickson autographed jersey in my living room. It's right over the fireplace. It's a perfect spot. This happens to be a DJ Moore one. I think the Erickson one has maybe slightly less value, but I don't know. It's sentimental to me, so I keep that one. But we're giving that away for you. Let's get to your questions. Let's start here. Let's start with James. With Kamara out, Aiyuk or Jarvis Landry in the flex, moving A.J. Dillon to RB2. That certainly makes sense. Now, one thing for this equation here, Andrew, we have Aiyuk playing in a game with Jamal Adams now out for the year for that secondary. That's a huge loss there for the Seattle defense, which is already not very good. Are you taking some shots with Jarvis with Brandon Aiyuk potentially getting downfield, or are you taking maybe the steadier floor of a guy like Jarvis Landry this week?
I'm going with Brandon Aiyuk. My bold prediction this week was Aiyuk would go for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. And of course, the weather is not working in my favor for that type of outcome. But look, George Kittle's still out. And I really think that means Aiyuk is the lone traditional wide receiver one in this offense. And when Lance drops back to throw, it's a bad secondary that gave up huge plays last week to the Denver Broncos. No Jamal Adams. Like, I think Aiyuk only may need 2 or 3, catches to
Right.
get it done for some big plays. So we
The
know
Robbie Anderson game of last week,
Yes.
basically. That's what we're chasing. Yeah, I'm with you. And in the flex, you always say you're looking for a little bit more bang for your buck,
little
right?
juice, little juice, in the flex.
What if you're behind already? Let's say that you're playing the team that had Mike Williams and you have this decision. What if you're playing from behind? Would you still go for the juice or take the floor and try to compete?
Well, I mean, I think that you need to try to match their ceiling. Like if you're in a 30-point hole, it's like, dude, I can't take 10 points from Landry. I need to shoot for a 25-point performance for Brandon Aiyuk. So that's what I would go for.
Let's go to Dan Decatur wants to know full PPR in the flex spot. We need one from Darnell Mooney, Elijah Moore, or Naheem Hines. Now, we mentioned Hines might get a lot of work in this game. That seems like an interesting play to me now. And I'm not a big Hines guy, but I'm kind of leaning that way. I'm a little concerned about Mooney potentially with Jair Alexander and a little concerned about Elijah Moore. Last week did not get the big splash plays. Maybe we can hope for him here against Cleveland. I don't know. But Hines seems more like the proven points to me in this particular week setting. Do you feel the same way, or do you go for Mooney or Moore?
I think I have Mooney ranked the highest, but in terms of look, we know that Naeem Hines is going to have big games. Like we know that,
This
and
could be it.
it's just that's what I
this,
mean. It's
this
like
feels like one.
yeah, like if he's gonna have like the spiked week, it seems like it would happen in a game where Michael Pittman is not playing. They're playing a defense that can be run on. So look, if you have Naeem Hines on your team, like you gotta take a stand on games you're gonna play him. And without Michael Pittman, I think that's probably like the key indicator. Like, hey, this is probably one a week that you want to start Naeem Hines. Frank Reich, I don't know if he's talked about Naeem Hines this week, but I bet if we can look at Frank Reich's fantasy lineup, we would probably see Naeem Hines in it. So
Mm,
I'll go with Hines
yeah.
here.
Also on DK as a play too, 5,300, the full PPR site. That's a pretty good value if you're looking to go all the way down. Now the problem is guys like Jeffrey Wilson are 5,100, so it's a tough pill to swallow. But if you get some catches, it might be a different story. Luis Velasquez has a question: would you drop Damian Pierce for J.K. Dobbins? So I guess somebody got a little upset and decided to just drop J.K. Dobbins to the waiver wire. I certainly would do this in a second. Would you do this move?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're both kind of like long-term gains that you're trying to hope for the second half of
Mhm.
the season to turn things around. But I think Dobbins as a more proven commodity, he's already done at the NFL level where Pierce is still a projection.
Yeah, I will say this about Pierce. After this week, the schedule gets easier. Plus, he's got an early bye of week 6. So when you have the early bye, typically some of the rookies out of the gate then with that extra week of preparation look a little better. So keep in mind, Pierce might be a guy you maybe don't want to drop. If you have to drop him, if he's the lowest guy in the totem pole for Dobbins, that's fine. But just keep that in mind that Pierce is an interesting buy low, especially after this week where we expect it to be another tough slog for him. Let's go to another question here. Let's go to Rajesh's question. Brady against the Saints or Trey Lance at home against the Seattle Seahawks this week. So we kind of talked about where you drop Brady in your ranks. Does that mean Lance is ahead of him, Andrew?
Yep, I'm playing Trey Lance. Like he's got the rushing on his side. The weather is not great, but it's not as bad as it was last week. So I'm going with Lance.
Yeah, I think I'm on that same path. I want to see Trey Lance do it this week. Now, if he doesn't do it this week, we have to make some hard choices. We have to sit down and have a real heart to heart with Trey Lance. I would also say in Superflex leagues, if you have the roster room, add Jimmy Garoppolo right now for free if you can, right now today,
Would you
because
drop Kenny Pickett if you had Kenny Pickett for Jimmy Garoppolo?
I might because I could always make that move again on Wednesday. You know what I mean? I could always swap it out. But what I don't want to do is have the bad Trey Lance game, have him get replaced or something,
So
and then
you
all of
think
a sudden have to
he could
pay.
get replaced today? Like you think that could happen?
If you are losing to the Seahawks in the third quarter, I think that's a distinct possibility.
Do you,
We got to keep it real.
you don't think Trubisky could get replaced today if he sucks
Oh,
against
of
the
course he
Patriots?
can. Of course he can. And I like Pickett more than I would like
Yeah.
Garoppolo. But I'm saying is right now, I think there's every reason for the Steelers to be patient and no reason for the 49ers to be patient. I think that's the point that I'm making. So add Jimmy G for the cheap. I'm going to doing it in the league actually this morning. Let's get to Patrick Smith's question. For flex in a PPR league, would you start Drake London, or I'm sorry, it's just Drake. So I assume it's actually Kenyan Drake. My apologies. Or maybe the rapper. I don't know. Would you start Kenyan Drake, Dotson, Penny, or Julio Jones? I need to start 2 because of injuries. Well, if you're going to start Julio Jones, that's just another injury. So really, it's Kenyan Drake, it's Dotson, it's Penny. Who's the odd man out in that group for you?
I mean, this is so he's got to start 2 of these guys.
Yeah, I would
So
throw a dart at Dotson and hope for the best with Penny. I think Kenyan Drake's still the odd man out for me, personally.
well, yeah, well, it's funny because Kenyon Drake's the only one that I'm like clear about him being the starter in his offense. I guess Rashad Penny, I feel comfortable with him being the starter, but Kenneth Walker is back, so I would
He's
assume that he's going to
back, but
have some type of role. I mean, they're just not going to use him at all. I don't know. I guess Penny's probably the guy I would prefer over Drake. And then of the receivers, I know you've been obviously down on Julio Jones, kind of as we're talking here, that being down on Julio Jones. But I mean, Dotson caught the 2 touchdowns, but he also only had like 5 targets last week. Like,
True.
he didn't have a lot of
It's true.
volume. If he
But
doesn't
can you
score,
risk Julio Jones going out there playing one snap and then coming off the field not playing again? That's a risk that I can't take. I'm sorry. I've seen it too much with Julio Jones.
yeah, no,
Now,
that's fair. Yeah, so I think it goes to. I mean, if we knew Julio was healthy, we talked him up earlier this week. Like we liked Julio a lot in the matchup, but obviously his injury is concerning. Look, you have to weigh in your risk tolerance here. So if you don't mind, like Julio, I think maybe has a little bit more of a ceiling here in this particular
Mhm.
matchup because targets should flow his way, and maybe he gets it done in a half before leaving the game. Like that's also possible. Or Dotson, I mean, look, I don't want to be caught just chasing 2 touchdowns from last week when he wasn't the most targeted receiver. McLaurin is going to get the most targets. Curtis Samuel's going to get involved. Antonio Gibson, like all those
Mhm.
guys out targeted Dotson
Right.
last week. So Julio, yeah, I think you got to just figure out your risk tolerance between Dotson and Julio. But I guess we do feel comfortable about Penny over Drake.
Yeah, there you have it. I want to thank the sponsor of today's show too, which is Monkey Knife Fight. No math, which is great. No salary caps, which I love. No sharks, even better. Just daily fantasy player props and a free $5 first game for new signups using the promo code FantasyPros. So go download the Monkey Knife app. And of course, the monkeyknifefight.com is where you can go to do that 100% instant deposit match for $100 of your first deposit when you use that promo code FantasyPros, but only when you join the fight at monkeyknifefight.com. Again, that's monkeyknifefight.com, promo code FantasyPros for that instant $100 match. That's what you want. That's what you need. I need a little bit more monkey knife fighting in my life, that's for sure. Let's get to another question here. Joe wants to know Landry or Jeffrey Wilson Jr. at the flex spot here. Andrew, you're going to want to take the touches with Wilson and then maybe the touchdown equity, or want to go with Landry and what's becoming a very bizarre potential game with Tampa and New Orleans?
I'll go with Jeff Wilson. Just feel more comfortable at him giving me some
Agreed.
production where I think Landry's just a little more volatile.
One of my favorite names here, Emilio Fresh Devez. Nice. Well done. Emilio, what up? Full PPR. We have Pickens, Njoku, or Herbert to pick from here. So there you go. Full PPR.
Well, tight end premium.
Tight end premium. We've got. Sorry about that. So you want to use Njoku with the tight end premium, or try for some more Khalil Herbert touches?
I like Njoku here. The offensive coordinator came out and talked about having to get more touches and targets to Njoku. So some squeaky wheel narrative. And I mean, they're not going to get 11 targets for Donovan Peoples-Jones again. So I think Njoku is going to be someone we're going to be talking about on the waiver wire after this week, because we're like, oh, we wrote him off after 1 week when, hey, it was 1 week. So I'll go with Njoku.
All right, fair enough. Let's continue on with your questions. And if we want to get a question across here to us, what you got to do is like the stream and be a subscriber here at Fantasy Pros. So subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell for notifications and go ahead and drop your question in the chat. If you're wondering, I'm watching, why can't I drop a question? That's why. So go do that. It's a good place to be, especially every Sunday morning. We're going to be here answering these questions for you. Let's get to another one here. DJ Gary Matthews, one of our favorite DJs on the wedding scene, especially. DJ Andrew Erickson, also quite good. He's more for those lower tier parties. He's like does the Sweet 16 circuit. He does a little bit lower there. Gary Matthews wants to know PPR wide receiver 3, Isaiah McKenzie, Paris Campbell, or George Pickens. It's slim pickings here with this group. I do not love any of these options. Andrew, I got to tell you, I would just probably throw the dart at Isaiah McKenzie and hope for the best with the Bills. Is that your thinking as well?
100%. Great offense. Last week he got there because he caught a touchdown. We don't know if these other guys are even going to get a sniff of a red zone targets. And you also have the intrinsic upside of, okay, Gabriel Davis, let's say he gets ruled out. Okay, boom. Now McKenzie should be viewed as like a wide receiver, like top 36 guy, had we known about Gabriel Davis being inactive, like today. So I think McKenzie definitely of those three is definitely the best option.
I am cautiously optimistic, by the way, about Gabriel Davis playing, because this was a very late designation and it's a Monday night. So he's got a little bit extra time. But I understand why people are panicking a little bit, because there are 2 Monday night games. If he doesn't play, then all of a sudden you might have to pick up Isaiah McKenzie on the waiver wire.
Yeah, that's the thing. Pick up Isaiah McKenzie if you have Gabriel. That's what I have. I mean, we have Gabe Davis everywhere, Joe.
Yes, we do.
And I'm making sure that McKenzie is, if he's available, he's no longer available. And now it's not
in none of the leagues I play, he's available, unfortunately. But what do you, honestly, how are you approaching this Gabe Davis situation? Are you somebody who's being oddly cautiously optimistic like I am, or are you kind of preparing for the worst and just playing other guys you have right now that are playing on Sunday?
I mean, I'm kind of just going with it where I had him ranked based on who he was playing. So if there's someone that I had ranked ahead of him, I would have played him. Unfortunately, I have a team where I had Pittman and Gabriel
Oof.
Davis. So it's just
That is
like,
not surprising
okay,
after all the
great.
shows we've done.
Right, exactly. So on brand, but also in pain here in week 2. Um,
Well, he's still top 20 in the ECR right now,
yeah.
Gabriel Davis. So, like, even if we're trying to pivot out of that, would you play Darnell Mooney over him this right now?
See, no, I don't think so because
Would
I
you
think
play
that
Alan
Mooney.
Lazard over him right now?
I think Lazard is an interesting guy to because his range of outcomes is because he could come in and just be
The
day
alpha
one,
there.
get
Yeah.
10 targets from Aaron Rodgers. Like, we all know Aaron. Like, I had to move Aaron Rodgers way higher in my rankings than I would normally do because this is a game where we just see him come back. He's pissed off. He gets Alan Lazard back. Tanyan's gonna be another week healthier. Like, he's gonna throw 4 touchdowns. Like, I know this. I don't. This always happens with Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers.
he's a top 10 quarterback for me this week.
Yeah, exactly.
That's easy to get
He's
there.
gonna be so Lazard. I think if you have Lazard, like he's someone I want to start. Like
Mhm.
because we talked about this on the show or on the podcast earlier this week, where Lazard was one of the biggest winners in week 1 because everyone else on the Packers just laid an egg and like
Yeah.
didn't step up. So by default, that means Lazard when he comes back is going to be the wide receiver 1. And I'm just not afraid against the Bears. Rodgers on prime time, dude. He's gonna shove it in people's faces after people write him off. So.
If he doesn't, though, by the way, like if they lose
Oh
to the
yeah. Oh
Bears,
yeah.
oh, let me tell you, you are not going to want to miss the podcast of Fantasy Pros Monday morning. That is going to be chef's kiss, amazing. I mean, I want to see it because I like chaos, but
Obviously.
to the Bears on Sunday Night Football, probably not going to happen.
Probably not,
But you'd
no.
like to see it. Could be fun. All right, let's go. Brian Schramm, Gabriel Davis is out. If he is out, he's still if. He's not out yet, folks, unless I missed something in the last 30 seconds, which I don't think I have.
Yeah.
I need a full flex guy, full PPR, Claypool or Ramondre Stevenson. Ugh, this is a tough one here. So would you put Stevenson or Claypool if right now if you don't want to wait for news for Gabe Davis?
I mean, I'm a Stevenson guy. I think that he's a super talented player, and I think it's worth it to try to get ahead of, okay, what's Stevenson's role now without Ty Montgomery active? Ty Montgomery, he scored the touchdown last week. Like, he was used in the passing game. So if Stevenson takes over that role, I think you could see a decent enough game to start Stevenson. So that's who I'll go with there.
Okay, let's go to another question here from her pal Zhang. Wants to know Waddle or T. Higgins. I think this is easy for me, especially with the injuries in the secondary and how they're kind of limping into this game in Baltimore. I would go Jalen Waddle here for sure. What are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, no, Gabe. I'm going with Jalen Waddle here. The Dolphins had the highest pass rate over expectation in Week 1. So even though Tyreek Hill got fed with the targets, Waddle got the long touchdown. You could see the targets a little bit flattened across the board, where it's really just the Waddle and Tyreek Hill show. Like
Mm-hmm.
they don't throw it to Gesicki anymore. Cedric
Nope.
Wilson was on the injury report this week, so it's just those two guys like combining for like a 70% target share in the offense, along with Chase Edmonds. So yeah, I think that Waddle definitely.
Poor Mike Gesicki. No one wants to throw the ball to him. His mom is going to be very
Where
upset.
do you,
Yeah.
he is
Oh, yeah.
so down to my rank. He's like 10 and 30
I
for
can
me.
barely
Oh my
rank
God.
him. I mean, it's a shame because he's got good hands. He's just not part of this offense, and you just
He's
got
gotta
to
get
come to
traded.
grips with that. He does have
Gotta
to
get
get traded,
traded.
and he might.
Yeah.
It's very possible. All right, let's go to Benny B. Curtis Samuel or Darnell Mooney in a standard league. That's the interesting rub here. Standard, you want to go with Curtis Samuel or you want to go with Darnell Mooney?
Yeah, I mean, Mooney takes a definite massive downgrade in standard formats because you're really hoping to see just racks up receptions, where Samuel is not only getting targets and receptions, he's getting carries and carries
Mm-hmm.
near the
I
goal
think it's
line.
Samuel. This
So
wasn't even
yeah,
tough for me.
Samuel.
All right, next here is Sneakerhead 303. Lost Allen and Pittman. I'm sorry, Sneakerhead. This has been a tough go for you this week. Do I go DJ Shark or Jacoby Myers as the wide receiver 3? DJ had some moments last week. I do not think very much
Going
of
Shark.
the Washington. It's got to be
Going
DJ, right?
Going
DJ
Shark.
it is. Let's go. Robert Lavelle in PPR. Should I wait on Gabriel Davis or go with someone else? Well, Robert, it depends on the someone else. If someone else is Michael Thomas, when you're like, oh, all right, well, I'll go with that. If someone else is Deontay Johnson, okay. But we gave you the guys. I'll tell you what. Let's give another one. We said Lazard. What about Christian Kirk? Would you be starting him this week over Gabriel Davis and wait?
I'd probably start Christian Kirk. I still feel. I mean, like he was really good last week, and yeah, I know there's some weather concerns there, but I think Kirk, especially in full PPR, yeah, full PPR, I would still start with Christian Kirk.
Would you start Curtis Samuel?
No, I would still
No.
wait for Gabe Davis.
Okay, how about I'll give you another name too. Jarvis Landry, another guy off the waiver wire.
I'd wait for Gabe Davis.
Your boy Brandon Aiyuk or Gabriel Davis.
I'd probably go Gabe Davis still too.
Big time Robbie Anderson or Gabriel Davis.
Not starting Robbie Anderson.
Just saying, when he has another big touchdown, we'll have to talk about that this week. I'm telling you, Baker Mayfield all day long throwing deep balls he shouldn't throw to Robbie Anderson. Roseanne Garcia has a question. Swift is listed as active, but will be limited. Should I sit him today?
Yeah, we didn't talk about this yet, so
let's talk about DAndre Swift for everybody out there. So limited DAndre Swift is still better to me than most running backs on the board. I'll take my shots there. Where's the threshold for you in terms of guys that you would place? AJ Dillon, would you throw in over Swift?
probably not. No.
Okay. That says it all right there, that you're probably running him out here and just hoping for the best. Like, if he gets
I gotta have like an absolute stud running back that I love to start over DeAndre Swift. Like,
he's still a top 10 RB for me this week, especially with Kamara out. I mean,
like I guess I'm like the only guy I can fathom thinking that you drafted much later than Swift that you were able to start over him at running back.
I got
would
a name.
Be like Antonio Gibson.
I got another name. Darrell Henderson. Would you start Darrell Henderson?
Darrell Henderson. So I had this question in the Discord, and I said, if you just want to be really safe, I would say that, yeah, you could start Henderson because we could see him take over and have an 80% role like he had last week, and you're just locking in points. They're playing the Falcons. So, look, if you don't want to take the risk, because Swift has not just this snap share risk, but he also has, what if he doesn't score a long touchdown? Like, he's dealing with an ankle injury. So if he doesn't have the same type of explosiveness, then they're just going to use Jamal Williams at the goal line again, and then you're kind of left holding the bag with Swift being like, oh no, he didn't have the explosiveness to himself. So you have to feel great about the alternative. Don't, because people were asking me, should I start Jamal Williams or DeAndre Swift? I'm like, dude, I'm not starting Jamal Williams.
I'm going to live and die with Swift here because I just don't think there's enough options floating around as the option B that I feel good enough about. I'm just going to hope for the best. Let's go to, let's see, Girdhar Reddy. I hope I said that correctly. Chances are I didn't. Jerry Jeudy or Miles Sanders and Allen Lazard trade? Should I do it? Oh, Jerry Jeudy for Sanders and Allen Lazard. So what side of this deal you want to be on? The getting Jerry Jeudy side or getting Miles Sanders and Allen Lazard side?
I'd probably just keep Jerry Jeudy at this point. I think that he looked good in his one game with Russell Wilson. Lazard, yeah, I could project as the number one receiver on the Packers, but how good is this Packers offense actually going to be? Like, they weren't good in week 1, so we're just kind of hoping that they bounce back here in week 2, but it's no guarantee. And Miles Sanders is someone that I think that you want to be trading away. I think that he's someone that, yeah, when he has good matchups and positive game script, when everything like works in his favor, he'll hit. But those are guys you want to sell. Like, those are guys that they're so dependent on everything kind of going right for them. Those are the guys you want to sell high on after they have good games. So, like Miles Sanders last week against a really bad defense, like he was healthy, he got goal line touches, so it all worked out. Like this week against the Vikings, again, another really good matchup. Like, I would be trying to ship off Sanders because he still loses touches to the goal line to Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell all the time. What happens when he plays a game the Eagles are losing in? Like, is he even on the field? Like, we don't know. So he would be someone I would probably trade, try to get more for. So I would want the Jerry Jeudy side of things.
I always like getting the better player in the deal, so I like getting Jerry Jeudy as well. I'd rather have that side. But if you are somebody that's struggling at running back and you're getting Allen Lazard too, it's a good value for Jeudy. I'll put it there.
It's a fair trade. It's a fair trade.
It's a fair trade. Like, I don't think this is like a one-sided deal, and I don't like one-sided deals. I like where everybody wins and everybody then has a trade partner in the future. Giovanni M, Jeffrey Wilson, or David Montgomery in the PPR. I don't think that matters here, so let's just call it like it is. Wilson or Montgomery? Where are you going this week, Erickson?
I'll just go with Dave Montgomery. He just, when everyone always writes him off against the Packers. I have them ranked back to back, so I'm not really like thrilled about either guy, like outside my top 24 running backs. But Montgomery, he got targets last week. He should get more targets than Jeff Wilson, who I don't believe in the passing game that much. And I mean, they're both Jags. Like, I'm not like enthused by either guy necessarily. So I have Montgomery one spot ahead.
I have Wilson 2 spots higher than Montgomery, so I'm on the other side.
You don't feel like you're like, oh, like Wilson smash over Montgomery.
Not bad, but like, I mean, I'm pretty comfortable with Jeffrey Wilson. I mean, like I said, I remember his
Comfy.
good games, and I felt like this was a player that was going to have value at some point in the season. I just didn't think it was going to be week 2. And there's nobody behind him that I'm worried about. I'm worried if David Montgomery puts the ball on the ground, there's no reason not to see Khalil Herbert the rest of the
It's
game.
true.
Like Jeffrey Wilson Jr. could go out there and just be a complete, screw up. I don't think they have a choice. Like they've got to just keep him going and keep giving him the football. Miguel Carballo wants to know, should I start both Sutton and Jerry Jeudy? So you gonna ride with both Denver Broncos wide receivers this week
I
in
mean,
one lineup?
KJ Hamler's out, so you have a concentrated target share
Mhm.
between the top two guys and Alberto at tight end. They're playing Houston. Like Houston's pass defense was horrible. I mean, Matt Ryan over 300 passing yards. Michael Pittman had a monster game. They're starting rookies out there, so yeah, I don't. Russell can support two wide receivers, so I have a lineup that I have Judy and Sutton in, and I'm starting both of them. So let's go, let's ride.
All right, let's ride. Like the stream, by the way, too. Every time we get another 100 likes, I'll say, let's ride, or I'll stop saying it if you prefer. So let's go. Smash that like button right now. Do it if you're watching the stream and hanging out with us and talking football. Let's go to Arjef Aloha. Need help. I want to start Lazard, but it's a game that I'm gambling on a little bit here. Or do I play Zay Jones or Allen Robinson? So Lazard, Zay Jones, or Allen Robinson, the options. I
Starting
would kind
Lazard.
of, my morbid curiosity of Lazard is just keeping him there.
Starting Lazard.
Yeah, let's go. I don't think we can chase Zay Jones. And look, if Allen Robinson has another bad game, that's another.
I'm pretty convinced that this Allen Robinson's not going to work out. Like,
Well, it's
even after
not a
one,
good look this week. I mean, those are some tough cornerback matchups with Atlanta.
and
It's just
and you got to think too, like of all the free agent signings and trades for wide receivers, like we all know that mathematically speaking, they all can't work out. Like we know that, just like factual, like they all can't work out. And considering how many of them already look good, it's like, hey, like odds are just someone's going to be the left man out, and Allen Robinson still hasn't shown that he can play well since 2000 what 20 at this point. Like
2020. That is correct.
it's yeah.
Look, man, like I said, Monday could be a real fun podcast. If some things go wacky, but yeah, I think you got to go throw Lazard out there. Christian Marshall, Michael, 3 names there. Michael Thomas or Brandon Ayuk. This one's tight. I have Thomas in my rankings higher. I would still go with Thomas. I think a little bit more sure footing, and they might have to lean on him, especially. Like this could be a really heavy Michael Thomas day with all the question marks in the backfield that they have right now. But I know you love Ayuk. You love him enough to start him over Thomas.
No, I'm still going with MT here. I think that not having Alvin Kamara, and you know that. So like we talk about passing volume and how that can be a little overrated for quarterbacks.
Mhm.
Well, with receivers like PPR, like no, like volume is good. Like even if Michael Thomas doesn't score 2 touchdowns, like when Jameis Winston has to drop back to throw the ball, like who is he going to? Like it's probably going to end up being a lot of Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry. Like, Olave didn't get that many targets last week, and they don't really use their tight end super much. I mean, Juwan Johnson, like I know he's like dirt cheap in DFS as like a punt play, but how much are you really expecting from? I know I had to start Juwan Johnson in our dynasty owner league, Joe, that I took over for you because I had no tight ends. So I have to start Juwan Johnson, who luckily is very, very cheap, which is why he's on my roster because it lets me be under the salary cap. So I'm going with Michael Thomas here.
All right. Let's remind everybody too that this stream is brought to you by Monkey Knife Fight. No math, no salary caps, no sharks, just daily fantasy player props. Free $5 first game for new signups using the promo code FantasyPros, and you get that 100% instant deposit match up to $100 on your very first deposit, but only when you join the fight at monkeyknifefight.com. Again, that's monkeyknifefight.com. Promo code FantasyPros. Get that free $5 game and the 100% instant deposit match it. Monkey Knife Fight. Monkeys fighting with knives. It's a good time. Let's get to another question here. Let's get to Aiden B Gaming. He be gaming with Christian Kirk or T. Higgins. This is a good problem to have, but I can understand why you're frustrated right now. Where do you go with this one? You go with the number 1 guy on the lesser offense or the number 2 guy on the big offense? That's basically what the question is.
Still go with T. Higgins here.
Mhm.
I think that you saw enough involvement from some of those other Jags receivers like Zay Jones, like Marvin Jones, where Kirk is the number 1 guy, but they still throw the ball at other people. Rain is playing an element here where T. Higgins, it seems like kind of people are just like ready to kind of like move on from him already when you probably draft him in like the 3rd round. And it's like, guys, like he was really good last year. Like, he's still attached to a good quarterback. Yes, he's coming off the concussion, so you're hoping that he's okay. But if he's up, I expect him to be full go. I know Debro tweeted out that he's expecting T. Higgins to be full go. So I'm trying to be more aggressive on ranking him because I just don't want to forget about, last year when these guys played together, him and Chase, he had a higher target rate. So that doesn't mean you play him over Chase, but means like, hey, Higgins in his own right is still a really damn good wide receiver. So I'm still going to be playing him.
All right, let's continue on with the questions here. Heath Steele has one. You want to play Dortch or Julio in the full PPR right now?
God.
I know you're going to laugh and scoff, but I don't know. I don't know if you want to scoff at this so much.
I mean, I really don't like. I don't love either. I mean, you like Dortch, so sell me on Dortch more.
Well, I'm selling you on Dortch being that just because Zach Ertz is there, this is also a good matchup here, a better matchup than I think last week they had in terms of preparation. I think that Dortch is going to get enough target volume that he's going to give you probably around 10 points in a PPR. My
Okay.
fear is Julio Jones gives you 2. And
Mm.
if that happens, that's an L. 10 is not an L. 10, I'm still competitive.
Yeah.
And I know it sucks. Like, that is not fun. But look, you have some clarity here. If Julio is out, then it's just Dortch, right? Like, you're gonna get the clarity because the Saints play at 1:00. So, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I forgetting this timing? But you're gonna have the Cardinals playing in the 4:00 hour. So
Correct.
if Julio is out, then you play Dortch and you're fine. If Julio is playing, then you have to ask yourself that hard question: can you handle an L? I think you have to look at your roster construction, Heath, and say, can I sustain if Julio Jones goes 0? Do I have a great lineup this week, a great situation? Am I down already to, if you're down already to Mike Williams, you're down already to the Herbert or Mahomes or something like that, then I could see rolling the dice with Julio Jones and just hoping for the best because you have nothing to lose. I think that's the only scenario I can play Julio in. AE, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. If you just want to lock in points, yeah, Dortch isn't going to get you 0. Like, he's going to be on the field enough, and if they have to throw enough, then he'll get some receptions and some types of yardage. So Julio, yeah, definitely way more boomer bust, it, and you're right. When you think about last year too, and when he was in this exact situation, it was a disaster. Like,
I've lived this
nine
life.
nine times out of 10, it was literally horrible. And this could be the game where, we're watching as as the clock turns from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern time, and you're like, wow, this Saints Buccaneers game is actually horrible. And Tom Brady looks horrible. He should have stayed retired. Like, where's Giselle? Like, it could be like this whole
There's
mess of
just
things. So yeah, I think this is probably a good week to get away from Buccaneers if you can. And
it
if you
just
have
feels
another
like it.
option like Dortch, makes sense.
All right, let's get to John Neva Knevezici? Because I'm sorry, John. That is a tough one. I'm doing my best here. I'll try one more time. Albert Bunham. No, it's John Nazavecchi. John wants to know T. Higgins or DJ Moore in the PPR. Now, this is probably pretty close for you. What are your thoughts on this one?
I still like DJ Moore. I think that he's still the number one wide receiver on the Carolina Panthers. I know Robbie Anderson caught the long touchdown last week, but I'm not afraid of the secondary that he's going up against. The Giants secondary, not afraid of it whatsoever. Moore still had a strong target share last week, 24%. He still had a lot of air yards last week. So I like DJ Moore. I think that when I watched Panthers training camp practice this summer, visit the
Mhm.
Patriots, he was by far the best player on their offense, not including Christian McCaffrey. Like, I didn't think it was even close. So I think that he bounces back here in a big way, and I think Moore's a really good player, so I'm going with him.
There you go. All right, let's get to another question here. Joshua Kirk wants to know Swift starter sit. Well, we kind of touched on that. We gave you the options there. I mean, unless you have a top 15 guy that you could plug in there and you're just really deep at RB, you play Swift and hope for the best. Anthony Dickens just let's see, just listed Fournette will play. So that's positive
Mhm.
there. Yes, we know he's going to play. How do you feel about Leonard Fournette this week? I know he's playing, but he was another guy that came in with the Q tag.
Look, if he's out there, I'm gonna try to go under the impression that he's healthy. I know we try to configure like how healthy is this guy, and for the most part, we just really don't know. Like, we really don't know. So for us to say, oh, I definitely know that he's only gonna see X amount of snaps, we don't know that. But I do know that the Buccaneers are injured at receiver, they're injured at offensive line, and I think that their biggest, if they want to win this game, they're gonna have to run the football. And we saw the Falcons run the football effectively against the Saints last week. So I think Fournette's going to get the volume, and I chase volume at running back. So Leonard Fournette for me, I think he's still going to get a lot of touches in this game to be worthy of a pick.
All right. Reminding everybody too, if you're hanging out with us, and I know you are, because I see you watching. Make sure you like the stream and make sure you subscribe to Fantasy Pros YouTube if you haven't already. Because when you do, you could win that DJ Moore jersey. Look at it; it's right next to my face right now. There it is. Boom! Thanks to our friends at PristineAuction.com. We are going to be giving that away at some point in time this month. So make sure you click that bell for notifications so you are alerted when every time a new piece of content drops. We've got shorts, we've got reels, we've got the podcast, we've got the live streams, we've got it all here at Fantasy Pros. You can only be part of it if you subscribe, and of course, you click the bell for notifications, and you just might win that DJ Moore jersey. So that'd be pretty cool. Let's get to some more cool people here and their questions. Robin team needs 2 in the standard: Cooks, Singletary, Samuel, Hunt, Henderson. Hunt is definitely in for me, Andrew. How about you? That's one, right?
Yes.
Can we all agree? Okay,
You got to
Kareem
play Hunt.
in. So in the standard league, I think we're probably looking a little bit more at the RBs unless you love Samuel. Do you want to narrow it down further?
I like Singletary. I really like Singletary
Over
a lot.
Henderson, just out of curiosity.
Over Henderson, that's a little bit tougher. Yeah, so I think Hunt and Henderson then for me.
Yeah, I think Hunt and Henderson for me too. I'm with you, dude. I love me some Devin Singletary, but it's.
I think he's gonna get the work. But over those 2 guys, I mean, Hunt, we're telling everyone like you just got to keep playing this guy. I don't care what the metrics touch it. Like all he does is score. I care about the column that matters with Hunt is fantasy points.
Yeah, dude, come on, guys. Come on, let's go. Let's go to the next one. Alex Garcia, DK Metcalf, or T. Higgins. It's T. Higgins for me. It's not
Higgins.
Close. Okay. So far, good questions today, too. No one's gotten broed yet. So we'll see what happens. Let's go to Madeline's question. Jeffrey Wilson Jr. or Rashad Penny at the flex in the full PPR. Let's help Madison out. Madeline. We've got Wilson Jr. or Rashad Penny. I'm just going to go with the offense I think might score more and take another shot at Jeffrey Wilson. That's what I'm doing. And I understand why if you want to play the volume with Penny, but in the PPR, I don't think either have a lot of appeal. So I'm just going to play the touchdown game. What are you going to play here?
Yeah, I think Wilson for me as well. I mean, if Kenneth Walker wasn't active or going to play, I would maybe lean towards Penny the volume. But now you have another chance that he doesn't see as much of a workload as he saw in week 1. So I will go with Jeff Wilson on the better offense, the team that's favored to win. I think that's the right approach.
Okay. Alvin Kamara is officially out for the game too as well. We talked about Mark Ingram being somebody that you can't be super excited about playing. He's got the Q tag anyway. He might be splitting carries with Jones. So I'm just running away from the situation. Andrew mentioned it earlier. I just want to reiterate it. Ingram probably is not the solution to your problem of Alvin Kamara.
Yeah,
it's just not going to be it.
If you have to start, basically it's where you don't have another running back. Like if you have to start 2 running backs, that's the most of the formats are. Like let's say you had Kamara, he's out, you're hurting at the position. Like you're not starting Ingram in your flex. Like you're starting another wide receiver.
No. He is not a flex appeal.
Yes.
No. Adam Starrin, half PPR, and a point for first downs. Kirk, Elliott, or Samuel. Where are we going here? Kirk, Samuel. Down. It's Curtis Samuel. It's not the Debo. I don't think we'd have this question.
Yeah, he said Washington. Yeah, I think it's Curtis Samuel for me. I mean, if he's going to get points for the carries he gets for first downs, then yeah, Samuel had so many opportunities last week, and I don't think that they're going to go away from me. See, the thing is with Curtis Samuel, he's good at football. He just has been hurt. Like when he's healthy, though, he's a very good player.
Explosive player.
Yeah, exactly. So
how many first downs do the Cowboys get today? What's your over under number on that? How about 7?
Yeah, Zeke has scored 2 touchdowns in 11 games without Dak Prescott, too. And he's a touchdown or bust guy. He was a touchdown or bust guy entering the year.
That's a stressful stat right there. This is bad news. Aaron Lowe, pick 1, full PPR. Mark Ingram, James Robinson, Donovan Peoples-Jones, or Jahan Dotson. I think we can both agree. I want to assume. James Robinson got to deserve some respect here, right?
Yeah.
I don't care if it's PPR. I don't care. James Robinson has earned that respect. Jeff Crumpley, the Crumply one, wants to know, full PPR, Chase Edmonds or DK Metcalf? Where are you going with this one?
Chase Edmonds for me. I think he got good usage last week. I know I've got a lot of questions about Chase Edmonds. I know in the Discord and even here on this live stream here. I don't know why people are losing the faith. I know like last week the final box score numbers weren't necessarily great, but he was clearly ahead of Mostert. He had 16 touches. Mostert had 6. And I think Edmonds, and if they're throwing the ball a lot, Edmonds catches out of the backfield. The Ravens gave up a lot of. How many targets did the Jets have to running backs in week 1? A lot.
I
Brees
lost.
Hall had 10 targets. Michael
Mhm.
Carter had 9 targets. So if Tua's not trying to push the narrative downfield, they're playing zone defense, they're playing back, Tua will just be like, all right, shove it down to Chase Edmonds. Let him make plays.
Matt Nelson, give me DJ Moore over the tight end for the upside. Well, he's just commenting on something else. That's not a question, Matt. Come on, Matt. We need questions. James Bostic, CD or Waddle? That's what we want to know in this next
Waddle.
one. I mean, come on. I don't want to bro you, but I understand why. I get it. It's just hard to let these things
I
go.
guarantee we're not going to have as many CD Lamb questions after this week is over.
Let's
People are going
hope.
to.
Well, that's gonna make it super complicated. Like if he has a mediocre game, like if let's say 6 for 60 and he gets that one touchdown, people are gonna be like, oh my God, we can weather this storm. But I think that might be a false
That's going to
sense
be
of hope.
called sell high. That he'll be number one sell high if he does that.
Cody Serrano, Brees Hall, or Curtis Samuel in the flex half PPR.
Samuel for me.
Samuel over Brees Hall. Okay. Tyson Mobbs, Cordero Patterson, or AJ Dillon in the flex half PPR.
Dillon, 10-point favorites at home, man. Like
I
you got to
agree.
go with the running back.
Can't go
there.
Chase last week.
Yes.
Can't go Chase. I mean, good for Cordell Patterson. If he has another big game, awesome. Just let that trade value build and build.
Yes.
And then call up the
Yes.
Zeke owner and be like, hey, what's up? I got a running back for you. His name is Cordell Patterson. I know you hate life with Ezekiel Elliott. And then you make the trade. That's what you do. Quentin Johnson, can I drop Juju? None of the wide receivers in KC are trustworthy. I don't think I want to drop Juju. I will say this.
You got to
Everyone's gonna be
trade him.
dropping.
You got to trade him after he has a good game.
Yeah, you wait, you trade him. I will say this. I do think it's only a matter of time before we start to dust off Sky Moore and start to get him. He's going to be dropped everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
At some point in this season, they're going to go, wait a minute. We've tried to make this happen. I understand trying to make investments in MVS and Juju and give them some time. But when that proves fruitless, it's time to pivot to the draft investment. Just saying. It's going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
I really believe
but the Chiefs' target share is definitely horrendous to look at because after Kelsey's at 22% after 2 weeks, and then everybody else everyone else is at 50. So Juju's the same as MVS, is the same as Hardman. They're all like 15%.
But we talked about this. This is what it was going to be.
Mahomes
it was going to be a cluster. You didn't need Mahomes to tell us. We could know it was going to be a cluster. That's why I stayed away from it. And the only one I picked was Sky Moore because he was free.
Well, he was cheap. And he's even going to be even cheaper. So
he's going to be on the waiver wire everywhere after this week.
Stash
everywhere. Nate Chofee, which is, let me tell you something. My grandmother is a Chofee. Nate, are you a cousin of mine? That's pretty cool, Nate. So what's up, my people, the Chofees? Nate wants to know. That's right, representing my grandma's family. McLaurin or Gabriel Davis? I can only assume we're talking Gabriel Davis here. So McLaurin or Davis?
So McLaurin would be like in the same, because I view them in like a similar tier. Because I know McLaurin's going to play, and if he's playing the Lions, I'll take McLaurin here. I like his upside.
I think that's fair. Julian Watron, Brandon Cooks, Adam Thielen, or Allen Robinson, the PPR. Pick one.
I'm going with someone that just always produces Cooks. So
okay,
I'm not going after the ghosts of Thielen and Allen Robinson.
Raider fan since 1967. Swift or Penny in the half PPR.
Swift.
Come on, stop. And Denver or Tampa defense. I think I go with Denver here in this one. Denver at home, super psyched up. I'm going Denver.
I mean, I know like both defenses.
I like them too, but I think it's Denver.
You don't think Tampa Bay is going to get at? I mean, that game's just going to be ugly.
You know me. If it's got 4 outcomes, I want nothing to do with it. Because I think we could all look at this game and say there's an outcome where it's a tight game. There's an outcome where Tampa runs away, New Orleans runs away, or there's an outcome where all of a sudden it's this explosive game and it goes to overtime and nobody knows. Like it could be any of those things, and I hate those games. I don't want to invest in them.
I have Denver ranked higher. I'm going Denver.
Denver. I have Denver ranked higher, I believe, too. I'll double check. Craig Shames, thanks. If not, I'm going to fix it. Craig Shames, thanks, guys. Hollywood Brown or Bateman? Where are you going with this one, buddy?
Hollywood for me. He's got to do something. I mean, he's playing the Raiders.
He's got to do something.
Horrible. He has to. Unless it's the Greg Dortch show again, Hollywood's got to do something.
I had Denver ranked at 3, so yeah,
I'm going
Denver.
So I'm going Denver.
Very bullish there. Tim Donahue, Brees Hall or Chase Claypool in the flex?
I like I kind of like Claypool. I like his matchup in the slot.
No, boo! I thought you were gonna say Brees Hall. I really did. I'm
No,
going to say
I
Brees
like. I
Hall.
mean, I'm in the camp of so you want to start guys against the Patriots because their team is not good right now.
It's
Like
not good right now.
it's. I mean, Chase
They are not a
Claypool.
well-constructed roster right now.
Yes,
Let's be
they're kind
honest.
of a
They have
mess.
too many holes and too many spots.
So yeah, I don't think anyone has. At least in the Patriots secondary, they really don't have anyone that matches up well with Claypool, like at his size and speed. Like I don't like that individual matchup with him and Miles
I don't think they
Bryant
just
in the
have anybody
slot.
at the secondary period. Can we just say
That's
that since
also
JC
true.
Jackson's gone? Let's keep it real, bro. Let's keep it real.
Call a spade a
T
spade.
Let's call it what it is. You know, I'm the king of keeping it real. If I got to put the crown on, I'll put the crown on because you know I'm the king of keeping it real. Let's go. T Lee, half point PPR. By the way, you got to like the crown. Give some likes for the crown. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. King of keeping it real. Let's go. Let's keep it real with T Lee. Half point PPR. Melvin Gordon or Alan Lazard. This one's not close for me. I'm going with Lazard. I understand the love of Gordon, but Lazard, right?
Yeah. Go with
You
Lazard.
got to. Shannon Blackburn. Hi, guys. PPR, Flex, Sutton, Jeffrey Wilson, or Rashad Bateman.
Sutton.
Sutton agreed. Dylan Ramon. I need some help. And need is in big, bold capital letters. So really, this is really important here. All right, Dylan. Should I play Swift or Mooney in the flex today at PPR?
I'm playing Swift.
Yeah, I mean, playing Swift. I mean, you swing for the fences with the guy who's gonna touch the ball.
Yeah, he could be on he can be on limited snaps and still do better than
Still
Mooney.
Be better than Mooney. Yeah. Nick Sims. By the way, I'm very proud of the audience today because we have not gotten one bro question. We got close, but no one's gotten broed yet. Nick Sims, start Knox or Tanyan. Ugh, gross. I'm just going to play for Knox and hope that, you know, if they signed him to that contract extension, that they're going to try to use him. That's the best logic I've got right now, Andrew, for this grouping.
See, I think if I knew about Gabriel Davis, and maybe we'll know information, if he's like limited or whatever, then you could see Knox having a bigger role. And then I also like Tanyan because I think that Rodgers might throw like 5 touchdowns against the Bears. And if he does that, then Robert Tanyan probably has a chance of catching one of them. But the fact that he's still coming off the injury, he's not playing a full complement of snaps. Lazard is coming back. I think that Knox is probably the guy you want to roll with here.
All right. Next here is Tommy Bowers, Peyton or Gage. I'm sorry. Peyton, go Gage and Tannehill.
Peyton?
I don't know what that means. Peyton, go Gage and Tannehill? What? Tommy, what? I don't even understand that question.
I don't even understand.
Me like Gage, Lazard, football. Smiley face emoji. Evergreen River, CeeDee Lamb or Marquise Hollywood Brown. Ooh, this one's
Hollywood
tasty.
Brown.
I knew you weren't going to hesitate. I knew it. Daniel J. Hampshire would like to know. He says, love the channel first.
So like it.
Yes, if you love the channel, give us a like. So like it. It's good for you. Like the stream. We've got Henderson versus Atlanta, DJ versus the Commanders.
Henderson.
Easy. No pause. No pause for Erickson. There you go, Daniel. And thanks for hanging out with us today, man. Hope you guys are having fun watching the show. Johan Bertrand, Robbie Anderson over Gabe Davis.
I mean, I'm not doing that. You like Robbie Anderson more than me, though.
I do, but I'm not insane, so no.
I'm not a crazy person.
Bwayne Expected wants to know full PPR. I love these names. I feel like every week they get more challenging, and we're only at week 2. I can't imagine when we get to week 17. Ramondre Stevenson in the full PPR or Jahan Dotson. I think you're going to go with Stevenson if I know Andrew Erickson.
I watch the Patriots for one reason. It's to watch Ramondre Stevenson look absolutely dominant on his 10 touches.
Fair enough. Mark Ward, McKissick or Woods in the Superflex. Oh God, what's happened here? Mark, it's week 2. What has come to this? That we are asking McKissick or Robert Woods in the Superflex? Something's gone horribly wrong. Of them. This is someone who did not use the FantasyPros tools. I can tell you that.
I think so, yeah.
Not happen. Mark, we gotta get you going here. You gotta join the Discord and help you out. That being said, Woods or McKissick?
I'm going McKissick. I'm not playing Robert Woods.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Jason Moa, not Jason Momoa. Just want to make clear on that. Although Jason Momoa would be welcome to ask a question here on the show. We've got Jay Williams. I assume Jamal Williams or Kenneth Walker. I gotta play Williams right today.
Oh yeah, gotta play.
That's not close. Pablo Gomez. What's good, Pisapia? Hello from Alaska. What's up, Pablo? How you doing? PPR, Julio or Curtis Samuel. Once again, I see no reason not to throw Curtis Samuel out here. Erickson, do you see this differently?
No, I agree. think he's got the opportunity. He's the one that's actually healthy. So
Right.
yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I did not wish this on Julio Jones. I was actually very excited after week 1 thinking,
Oh, you
wow.
were.
You know me, I really changed my tune after week 1 on the Julio thing. I thought, wow, maybe he's right. Maybe last year he was just not right. And now he's back. He's got Brady. It's all going to be sunshine and roses and rainbows. It's not. The pot of gold is filled with poop emojis. It's terrible. Brian Villanueva and Troy just laughed. Our producer, I just made Troy laugh. So there you go. Troy, I'm here just to amuse you. That's my lot in life here. Brian Villanueva, Bateman, or James Robinson, the full PPR. He already wasted his other flex with Juju, just if you want more information, he said. I like that Brian has a sense of humor about his pain. Brian, I respect that. I love you, man.
I like James Robinson of those two guys. I think Bateman has a tougher matchup on the outside against Xavier Howard.
Clarity.
Yeah,
Here it
Julio's
comes.
not going to play.
Julio's out. Take all your Julio. It's like they heard me talking about it. And you're like,
you love it when you make the decisions easy for us when they just say the guys are out. So, am I going to move Brady farther down your rankings now?
What's that? I've already moved. I mean, how much farther can I move me? He's Tom Brady. At a certain point, like,
okay, so now so he's going to have Russell Gage. So where does Gage now fall for you?
And he's got Fournette, and he's got whoever's open.
No, I mean, like,
he'll
Russell,
use the
so
tight
if
ends.
people had, so where would you think Russell
I've got
Gage?
him at 13, but now it's Wentz, Lance, and Brady that I have a hard time figuring out right now. They're at 13, 14, and 15 respectively. Like, out of curiosity, do you have Wentz ahead of Lance? Probably not, right?
No.
Do you have Brady ahead of Lance?
Brady. I have Wentz ahead of Brady, yeah. But it's one of those things where I'm not going to drop Brady to pick up Wentz if I can't afford the roster spot. But if I can add Wentz and not have to drop anybody and keep Brady because I don't want. I mean, I didn't draft Brady really, so I don't know. I don't want to play Tom Brady. Like Joe, we've seen that. We saw this with we saw this what happened in New England when everybody fell apart around him. They didn't have the weapons. They were trotting out these old guys that were all hurt. The offensive line was hurt, and he sucked. And that's what's going to happen today. Tom Brady's going to suck today.
Wow, Andrew, you got a lot of feels here. This is a lot of 2019 feels from Andrew Erickson here of him not enjoying how things went down at the end with Tom Brady. It's true. Things did go. The one thing though, when that team, when things started going south for that team that started off so well for the Patriots that year, they had lost their ability to run the football. They still have that.
And that's why I still like Fournette in this matchup because I think
I will say
they want to win. They have to use Fournette.
They could not run the football. And when you couldn't run the football, you couldn't run play action. You can't run the play action. Tom Brady can't be Tom Brady. Like that's just the way it is. Some things will never change. Let's go to Shane Hicks to fill in for Gabriel Davis, CeeDee Lamb or Higgins. Well, that's good problems to have. What is this, a 6-team league? So you want to fill in, you want to use Higgins or CeeDee Lamb to fill in for Gabe Davis today or tomorrow?
I'm going with Higgins.
Both. Higgins. Half PPR. Those are great options, by the way. And yeah, and you have options is good. You pivot. You don't take the chance, especially because if it is a shorter league, you're going to be running up against bigger scores. So you really can't afford to be wrong if Gabriel Davis doesn't play. Evergreen River, CeeDee Lamb or Marquise Brown. We did that one already. It's Marquise Brown. Ryan Schroeder, full PPR. Pick 2, Allen Robinson, Drake London, or Devonta Smith. Who's the odd man out? A-Rob?
No, Devonta Smith. I mean, I didn't like Allen Robinson or Devonta Smith. They were kind of like both my fades.
Oh, I don't like him either.
I mean, Drake London's weird that I like him the most, but I feel like the Rams give up a lot of completions. They're not like this like lockdown defense that doesn't allow them. I mean, if Atlanta's trailing, they're gonna.
People forget that the Rams struggled last year at times, especially earlier in the season. I think people forget like they were losing games they're supposed to win. Like it was ugly.
He can't cover everybody on the field. Like he's one guy, and
he can't even cover his own man sometimes. It feels.
Oh my God, Diggs just freaking absolutely cooked Jalen Ramsey in week 1. I mean, do you have a feel on Robinson versus Devonta? I guess. I mean, I
hate them both, but I would go with Smith over London. That's where I would go. I mean, Smith and London rather over Robinson.
So you definitely would start Robinson then.
No, I'm saying Smith and Drake London. I'm going with Robinson's the odd man out if I'm picking 2.
I think I prefer London and Robinson.
I hate it. Like the Allen Robinson thing. I had zero faith coming in.
Yeah, I think Smith. Whenever I'm torn, I try to look at who's the better player, and Devonta Smith I think is probably the better player than Robinson.
That's exactly my logic on this one too. Josh Walters, CeeDee Lamb, or DJ Moore in the standard league.
Well, DJ Moore never scores touchdowns, but I don't think the
That's the
Cowboys will score
problem.
touchdowns either. So I'm going to go with DJ Moore.
It's a hell of a point. CM Franklin, Lost Pittman, Drake London, or Allen
Is
is
Allen
where
Robinson?
I guess
I'm
Allen
going Drake
Robinson.
London.
You got to be, listen, guys. I love when people say, should I play Johnson or Johnson? Like, you can't do that to us because the answer is going to be Johnson and it's not going to help you.
Whenever like all the Jay Williams questions, it's like,
Yeah.
dude, there's
Who
like
should I start at
5.
flex? Robinson or Robinson? Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I'll hang up and listen. Yeah, no good. Aiden McIndrick, Akuibunum or Ertz today? I go with Ertz.
I like Akubunum. I do.
You're hopeless. You love this guy. I like him.
What? He was good in week
Going
1.
Ertz. He was good. He was good in week 1. It was fine.
I mean, he got a couple passes. That's all you need
Got a
for your
couple
tight end.
passes. Ertz scored a touchdown if memory serves. Yeah.
In garbage time.
I don't care. It's the best time. Garbage time is my favorite time because it means fantasy points where we're chucking the ball around. I love garbage time. You don't think there's gonna be some garbage in this game?
Oh yeah, that's probably
Zach
gonna be some
Ertz,
garbage.
score a touchdown. You're a tight end 1. Give me Ertz. Benji 32, help! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Tyler Boyd or Mark Ingram in the flex. Oh, this is a tough one. Benji
I
is
guess
up against
I would
it.
go with Tyler Boyd. I think he's way
I
more
would too.
upside. And then,
I would
if
too.
Higgins gets hit, God forbid he gets like knocked out or something, like Boyd would see a boost in his value. So I'd probably go with that. I think Ingram just has a very, very, very low ceiling.
You could see a boost in the volume of your wallet if you play a little monkey knife fight. No math, no salary caps, no sharks, just daily fantasy player props the way it ought to be. $5 for free in the first game for new signups using the promo code FantasyPros. That's one word, FantasyPros, and 100% instant deposit match up to $100 on your first deposit, but only when you use the promo code FantasyPros at monkeyknifefight.com. Again, FantasyPros is the promo code at monkeyknifefight.com, the sponsor of today's pod. And if you like monkeys fighting with knives, like I do, like this pod, because I mean, what's not fun about monkeys and knives? Everything's fun about that. Luis Miguel Moreno, help please. Travis Etienne Jr. or Devin Singletary, or pick up Naheem Hines instead. So it was a little wrinkle there at the end. That was kind of interesting. So Etienne, Singletary, or Hines in the PPR.
I still feel really good about Singletary is the best one I feel about like projecting his role today, as opposed to these other guys where you can paint a narrative where Etienne gets it, where Hines gets it done, but it's so random. So I'm going with Singletary. I feel just better about his role.
All right, so Josh had asked us a question about Julio before. So Aguilar or Pettis? This is a deep league, clearly. I think you take one shot on Aguilar, to be honest.
I mean, Dante Pettis barely plays. So he caught a long touchdown. Like Aguilar, at least we know is not. I mean, it's like they're not playing Kendrick Bourne, so Nelson Aguilar is at least on the field, and that. I mean, can you pick up Ashton Doolin? Like, I think I'd rather play him. Mate. I don't know.
You know what? If Doolin's out there, I think I would rather play him.
Yeah, I would rather play Doolin over all those guys.
If Sterling Shepard's out there, I'd be grabbing Sterling Shepard too. What about Richie James? That's another guy too.
Richie James, I'd rather pick him up. Yeah.
Josh, we just helped you out. Go find those other guys.
Or Greg Dortch, if he's still out there too.
Dortch. Oh, we finally got to Erickson agreeing to something.
Dortch over Aguilar.
We had to get to Pettis and Aguilar to get there. Jason Hinckley, the PPR flex. Josh Jacobs or Michael Thomas today?
See, Josh Jacobs, this is one of the matchups I feel good about him. Yeah, that's the thing. It's full point PPR, so I think I probably lean towards Michael Thomas here.
It's not even a lean. It's a comfort for me. I'm going Thomas.
Cool.
All right, here we go. Robin team, Baker or Brady in the standard today? I can't do this. It's got to be Brady still, even if it's wrong. I can't.
Even if it's wrong,
I can't. I just can't do it. I can't.
Yeah, I can't start Baker Mayfield over Tom Brady.
No,
sorry.
Rich Flem, and I'm not going to bro that question, Robin, because it's
a good question. I mean, I just came on here and said Brady was going to suck today, so
yeah. So now look what you done. Look what you made. Look what you did.
Look
what you made Robin do. You made her ask this question. Why'd you do that? Rich Fleming, Ezekiel Elliott, Kareem Hunt, or Jacobs?
Oh, Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. Let's see. Let's go to Silent Val wants to know 49ers or Packers defense week 2. Those are both very good options here. I would lean towards the 49ers in this one, but how do you see this one? I got the 49ers higher. I just think there's more turnover potential in that game, especially if there's weather involved.
Yeah, I guess like for me,
That's
I'm
where you
trying
get
to think.
points on D's.
Yeah, with the weather too, I think 49ers probably makes the most sense. Even though the pack, I mean, yeah, Justin Fields I think is better. Even though he attacks the ball like aggressively downfield, Geno Smith like doesn't do that.
No, that's
As we've noted multiple times with DK Metcalf's, still 58 and a half receiving yards under, continuing to
I
pound.
was gonna check in. I was feeling good about that number. I'm
Yeah, I feel
that of
great
all the
about that
things,
number.
that might be the thing I'm watching most today. Will DK Metcalf stay under that number for Andrew Erickson after we talked about that on the pod? God, that was a
But I
fabulous
agree
one.
49ers here. It's a good problem to have. I really don't think either of them is bad. So, but
Yeah, Big
yeah,
Smoke 727 with Pittman out and half PPR flex spot. Who's the better upside play? James Robinson or Hollywood Brown?
I mean Hollywood. I think is. I mean
Hollywood's the upside play, but
yeah.
in the half PPR, I got to tell you, I think J Rob is the better play.
I like
Like,
Hollywood for the upside because they asked specifically for upside. So I'm going with the wide receiver.
fair enough. Shannon Blackburn wants to know. She says, "Hi guys, PPR flex Sutton, Wilson, or Bateman."
Sutton,
Okay, prime time. Best QB to replace Dak this week?
Wentz.
Carson Wentz, if he's available. That's the way I would go. Like you just, what happened was you talked bad about Tom Brady and you left the stream for a second. Don't you know that Tom Brady controls all media? Don't you know this? Can't do this. Can't do these things. All right, Rahul Matthew, Najee or Connor at the flex in the half PPR.
Connor for me.
Wow. Okay. Gary Moore, pick one PPR flex. Hollywood or Terry McLaurin or Allen Robinson. I think we can drop Robinson.
McLaurin.
McLaurin for you. Phil Dog, Higbee or Ertz. It's Ertz for me. I can't start Tyler Higbee.
I can't start Tyler.
Can't
His
start
11 targets from last week. You can't start him. I have Ertz higher, so yeah, I'll go Ertz.
Tyler Higbee. Evergreen River. CD. We did the Evergreen. We got you already, bro. Kent Mahi. Got you, bro. Kent Mahi, standard quarterback. Tua or Carson Wentz. Now that's an interesting one.
So I still like Carson Wentz. So update on the Ravens cornerback. So both Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey are both playing. So just I know
Playing and healthy are two different things, Erickson.
Okay, but they're still out there. So I still prefer Wentz, even if they were hurt.
Okay.
They're gonna play zone. They're gonna play zone coverage. So it doesn't necessarily matter as much in terms of like who the man-to-man corners are if they're all just playing zone. And Tua's not that good against zone. So
fair enough. This is fine. I was waiting. I was just giving you a gap to see how long you could talk about that because I just was curious to see what you're gonna do.
Let's 5-minute rant about Tua.
Do it. Okay, because I feel like everything time you were done, you had something else you still wanted to say. Nate Shue needs one for the flex in the PPR. Elijah Moore, Rashad Bateman, or Ramondre Stevenson. You want to go with some touches? You want to go with the tough corner matchup with Bateman, or roll the dice with Elijah Moore bouncing back after a less than inspiring week one?
I'm going with Elijah Moore.
Okay.
They threw the ball 59 times last week. I don't think they're going to do it that much, but there's passing volume to be had in this offense. So
59 times. Antoine Spivey, Lamar Jackson, or Jalen Hurts. Oof. Hurts really?
Runs. Does
okay.
Lamar run still?
I think he will today. I think we'll be reminded of that.
Yeah, we probably will. I'm feeling very bad.
I feel like those are words you're going to regret saying out loud.
No,
that's what I think.
I feel horrible about betting the under on his rushing yards prop. I feel like I'm going to get absolutely annihilated.
Just double down on the DK Metcalf.
I did. Don't worry.
And if you want more betting advice, head over to our BP live stream we've got going every Sunday. Also, cross promotion. See you there. All the families of fantasy pros, betting pros, all coming together, hanging out, talking football. All that stuff overlaps. Let me tell you. Derek Moore. Should I put DJ Moore or DJ Chark or Curtis Samuel in full PPR? One spot, Moore, Chark, or
DJ
Samuel?
DJ
Moore. Anthony Hamilton. Thoughts on Devin Duvernay?
I mean, I don't think he's going to catch 2 touchdowns again. Just hot take. He only ran like 53% of the routes last week. So I'm not trying to start Duvernay. I don't feel great about him.
Sebastian Lycan, half PPR. Higgins or Christian Kirk? I think we still said Higgins on that one, right?
Yep.
Philip Crichton, half PPR. Wide receiver 2 and a flex. Pick 2. Ready? Marquise Brown, Jerry Jeudy, Gabe Davis, Antonio Gibson.
I'll go with. I like Gibson a lot. I'm going.
I think Gibson and Jeudy is what I want to do.
I like Gibson and Brown.
I like Gibson and Jeudy. You guys are fascinated with Hollywood Brown. Fascination. All right, here we go. Christopher Powell, Rashad Penny, or Damien Harris. Yeah,
I'll go
that's
with
my
I'll
reaction
go
too.
with
I flip a coin. I think I'd go Penny, to be honest
yeah,
with you.
I got Penny higher, so let's go with him.
Derek Moore. Should I put DJ? Oh, no, we did that one already. Too. We have Jonathan Weller, PPR, James Robinson, or Brees Hall. It's got to be Robinson, right?
Robinson.
Okay, let's do another one here from Kevin Mullen. Need a flex in half PPR. Stevenson, Dotson, or Pollard?
Stevenson.
Stevenson. This is good. We're rapid firing now. Let's go, baby. Let's go. This is Jan Lenderhaus wants to know PPR, Gordon, Campbell, or Mooney? Gordon, Campbell, or Mooney?
If they're up, Gordon. I mean, Gordon led the team carries last week, and they were losing. So I like Gordon.
Jason Hinckley, PPR flex, Josh Jacobs or Michael Thomas?
We had this question already.
Yeah,
Michael
we did
Thomas.
this one already too. Thomas as well. CD, let's see, wants to know Debo, Mooney, DJ Moore, Christian Watson, Justin Jefferson. Well, first of all, I don't even know with Justin Jefferson.
I don't know why people list off like who they're playing.
Like, I know who you like Justin Jefferson's great. I don't know how many we're supposed to pick. I have no idea what this means.
DJ Moore, Debo, and DJ Moore. Those are my top two. I put Debo first.
Yeah, you're playing Jefferson, and then you're going to play Moore, and you're going to play Debo. That's what you're going to do. Wyatt wants to know full PPR. I assume it's DJ Moore, but again, you can't just say Moore. It could be Elijah Moore. I don't know what Moore you're talking about.
We need more information.
I need more. DJ Moore or Sutton, and it doesn't matter. I think it's Sutton regardless. But watch your Moores. Watch it, people. Najee Harris or Chase Edmonds for today. I still got to play Harris over Chase Edmonds.
I'm playing Najee.
Ramondre Stevenson or Curtis Samuel for Baharama.
Full PPR, I'll go Samuel.
Full PPR. Rajesh, here we go. The $1 million question. Tom Brady or Trey Lance?
Trey Lance.
If I'm 0-1, I'm playing Tom Brady. And chances are this team might be 0-1 because they played Trey Lance last week. I can't stomach 0-2.
I played a lot of Trey Lance last week, and I made it because I had a lot of wide receivers.
Well, congratulations to you. Austin Shipman, some of us weren't that lucky. Good morning, Fantasy Pros. Start 2, full PPR. Higgins, Sutton, AJ Dillon. Where are you going?
I'll go Sutton and AJ Dillon.
Sutton and AJ Dillon. EV, Fournette, Hunt, Henderson, or Patterson. Wow.
One guy.
One guy from this group? Jeez.
I'm going Fournette.
Yeah, I think you have to. All right. Chris wants to know Penny or Jeff Wilson Jr. in the half PPR.
My name is Jeff
Wilson. Jeff. All right. Let's go to. All right. This is from Greatness. Sit 1, half PPR. CeeDee Lamb, Kirk, Waddle, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. Well, St. Brown and Waddle ain't coming out. I think I'd rather play Kirk than Lamb. Is Lamb the sit for you?
Yep. He's got and I think it's important he has the greatest downside because we have a brand new quarterback
and the most capped upside.
Exactly. So yeah,
if we're keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
The crown on again, people.
Can you send me the crown so we can keep it real together?
Well, look, I think this is a party fair for like $5. So if you have like a party city or a party fair, look, it's hard to be the king. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And my head is very heavy. Joe Chaperon Sear, PPR flex, Chase Edmonds or Michael Thomas?
Thomas.
Okay. Let's get to another one. Lemmy Squanch wants to know Hines or Khalil Herbert. Half
Hines.
Okay. Hines both. All right, let's go. Michael Williams wants Michael Thomas or DJ Moore in the full PPR. I feel like you're going to say DJ Moore.
Yep. I'm going to say DJ Moore.
Corey Bowen, Cordero Patterson or Josh Jacobs in the half PPR.
Going with Jacobs here. This is one of the few matchups I feel. Look, if the Cardinals defense can't stop anybody. So the Raiders were losing last week. Jacobs only got 10 carries. If they're winning in this game, he should get a decent amount of work. So I like Jacobs.
Speaking of winning things, if you want to win a DJ Moore autographed jersey, make sure you are a subscriber of Fantasy Pros, our YouTube channel, and click the little bell for notifications because we are giving away a DJ Moore jersey autographed by DJ Moore. He knows which Moore. We're very specific about this Moore. It's DJ Moore. That's the jersey. Pristine Auctions, the place that's giving it to you. All you have to do is subscribe, make a comment here on the stream, and you can enter to win. It's very easy. We're giving away all these jerseys all the time. We gave away Gabe Javis jersey. We gave away Jalen Hurts jersey on the pod. We're just giving away jerseys. What a beautiful time to be alive. So let's go. Go win that bad boy. Let's go to the next one. Alyssa Seibel. Should I play Zeke, ATN, or Brees Hall this week? I think it's ATN.
Agreed.
All right. Kyle Woods, Jeff Wilson, or Devin Singletary. Oh my goodness, this is a test of the will of Andrew Erickson. Singletary, Wilson, half PPR.
Singletary.
Jake Willis, Gabe Davis, or Christian Kirk. I think you play Kirk. We said Kirk, it's okay. Don't wait.
Yep.
Troy Mobley, full PPR. Buffalo's Singletary or Jacksonville's ATN. It's another one, same thing.
Singletary for me.
All right. Julio out. Alvin Kamara out. Ingram in. Mike Evans in. Russell Gage in. Leonard Fournette out. Just to recap for everybody out there. Bryson Trevena, full PPR. What do you think of Eckler? What should I do? Should I trade him for someone like Dalvin Cook or something? I also have Mixon. If you can pull off Dalvin Cook for Eckler, you better do it. Good luck with that.
You probably won't be able to.
That ain't happening. That ain't happening. But let's be realistic. Could you get Najee for him right now? With
I
the
don't
foot
want.
insecurity?
I don't want. Do you feel good about trading for Najee right now?
I feel good about trading for DAndre Swift.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't feel
What
good
about
about
Javonte Williams for
Najee.
Eckler? Would you make that trade rest of the season?
Yeah, that one's tough. I mean, if you're a believer in Javonte as he's going to take over, then yeah, I think that makes sense. I think it's
Jordan Gesick, sit one. Damian Pierce, Damian Harris, or DJ Shark?
Damian Pierce.
Yeah, got to. All right. Baharama, we did yours already. Let's go to Corey Ramsey. If Brady's going to be bad, do you play Mike Evans or Christian Kirk in the flex? I think you can play Kirk right now over Evans. Like, I don't have a problem with that play.
I think in full PPR, I can probably do it. But I mean, Mike Evans still has touchdown equity.
In half, I would still play Evans.
Yeah.
But in the full, I think Kirk is a perfectly fine pivot.
Yeah.
I got no
but
problem
I think
with
that matters a lot with Mike Evans specifically because he.
Sure. No, of course.
We've seen the
2 for 2 yards and 2 scores. We've seen that line. I'm old enough to remember that. Michael Saborin needs one. CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or Antonio Gibson, the full PPR.
Dude, I cannot fade the sun god. Amon-Ra.
Come on, man.
Can't. I just want to keep moving him up. Like, just keep moving him up.
No respect. No respect coming into the season. Greatness has another question here. CeeDee Lamb, Kirk. Oh, no, we did that one already. Let's go to Kroll the Warrior Princess, who is always here with us. Hi, gents. Kareem Hunt or Jamal Williams? Kareem Hunt for me still. Let's go. Good luck, Kroll. Alsteezy? Damian Harris or Elijah Moore?
Elijah Moore.
There you go. Kinky Tasm. Hail, Fantasy Kings, says Kinky Tasm. Hail to you. You're welcome. Half PPR, Kareem Hunt or Devin Singletary. Hunt. Thanks, gang. Hunt across the board. All right, let's talk football. Wants to know in the flex. J.K. Dobbins is out, so it's Cole Kmet. There's your
baby.
Answer. Wake up. Get some a cup of coffee. Check the Twitter machine. Jeremy Robertson wants to know. Full PPR, Josh Jacobs or DAndre Swift at the RB2?
It's full PPR, so I'm going Swift.
Swift it is. Jonathan Silva, Jahan Dotson, or Paris Campbell? Throwing darts. I'm throwing a dart on Dotson.
Yeah, no, I
like
agree.
The better player. Sorry, I can't do this.
This Colts passing game could just crater and just be horrible everywhere. So,
okay, fair enough here. Let's continue on here. By the way, I just want to say you've got 1 minute left. Actually, you know what? We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do it now. We're gonna announce the winner of the autographed DJ Moore jersey right here on the show. So you ready? Erickson, give me a drum roll. We got a drum roll. Give me a go. Let's go. There we go. PristineAuction.com. The winner is Chris Boyd. Congratulations, Chris Boyd. You did it. You earned it. You hung out. You watched the show. You commented. You were part of the program. Chris, please get in touch with us at customer support. The email address is mailbag@fantasypros.com. Again, that's mailbag@fantasypros.com. Give us your mailing address. Give us your name and the proof of your subscription to Fantasy Pros. That's what we need, and we'll get that jersey shipped out to you as soon as we can. Don't panic if you don't hear back from us today or tomorrow because it's busy around these parts on Sundays and Mondays. But we got you. Don't worry. So once again, congrats to Chris Boyd winning the DJ Moore autographed jersey. Thanks to our good friends at Pristine Auction. We'll ship that out to you again. Hit us up, mailbag@fantasypros.com. That's the mailing address, mailbag@fantasypros.com. Congratulations, buddy. All right, let's get some more of these questions before we get out of here. Let's go to Rowdy Derek. Thoughts on Gabriel Davis? We kind of shared that. Just to reiterate, if you have the Christian Kirks of the world, the Michael Thomases of the world, play them. Don't wait. If you don't, roll the dice with Davis. Or pick up McKenzie as a backup plan. Or even in a deeper league, Jamison Crowder to cover yourself. Because I think Crowder would work as well. Henry Jack. Good morning, Fantasy Pros. Full PPR flex. DK, Jeff Wilson, James Robinson. Where are you going?
DK, Jeff
I'm going
Wilson.
James Robinson.
James Robinson, yeah.
Let's go. Chris Cordova, Cam Akers, or Damian Pierce.
Gross.
Ugh.
I would go with Cam Akers. He plays on a really good offense, and let's say the Rams are blowing out the Falcons, they could just put Akers in. So, yeah.
I think I can't. Again, more chaos. Fantasy low-key hard at work.
I hope Akers gets to play.
If Akers gets 15 carries and Henderson gets 6, I cannot wait for
Oh,
tomorrow.
I love it. Wait, so with Henderson in DFS as like very chalky. So are you on that, or are you like,
No,
hey,
I'm on
I would
Wilson.
rather
See,
buy into the fact that they flip the script.
Henderson is a guy that I'm off of because he's the same price as Wilson. And I know they've got it's like, that movie, An Officer and a Gentleman, when Richard Gere screams, I got no place else to go. That's the 49ers. They've got no place else to go right now. So it's Jeffrey Wilson. There's an option outside of Henderson. Now, Henderson is interesting in tournaments, but in cash, I wouldn't touch him. Let's go. Taylor Edwards wants to know Michael Thomas or CeeDee Lamb in the PPR.
Michael Thomas.
Agreed. Shane Kyle. Love the Fantasy Pros. Shane, we love you. Like the stream. Like it right now if you love us. If you don't like us, like the stream anyway. It's easy to do. Shane wants to know full PPR, Hollywood Brown or Curtis Samuel. Also have Gordon the third or Burkhead. I think we'll agree on Gordon there. Hollywood or Curtis Samuel, where are you going to go?
I like Hollywood.
All right. Franz Chen, Mooney or Allen Robinson in the Standard League. Oh, God. I just got chills.
I think in Standard, I actually prefer Robinson because I think they'll probably throw him the ball in the end zone. So
I'm going to go with Mooney. I'm just going to go with the better talent and hope that he has a better yardage total. I'm not playing Allen Robinson if I can avoid it. D. Graham, and I'll go. If he's good this week, great. Then your season might not be over. Like, honestly, that's it. Like, not even, you could sell high, but just.
I would sell high. I'm going to sell high.
Good luck with that. Let me know how that turns out. D. Graham. Hi, fellas. Need a wide receiver in the flex. We've got Kirk, Michael Thomas. It looks like more, but again, we don't know which one. Edmonds. So there you go. A flex and a wide receiver. So you pick 2.
Oh, so 2, Michael Thomas, and then if it's DJ Moore, yes, I would do DJ Moore. If it's not, if it's Elijah Moore.
Yeah, it's Kirk.
Actually, is this
might be Kirk anyway?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with. Actually, no, I like Thomas and Edmonds because it's half PPR and the just the weather in Jacksonville. Kirk's not as good in half PPR as.
All right, we got 5 minutes left. Let's try to hammer through these. Corey Mallet, Stevenson or Burkhead?
Stevenson.
Lara Pesic, excuse me, Lara. Edmonds or Singletary?
Edmonds in full, Singletary and everything else.
Okay. Aaron Dawson, half point, tight end premium, DJ Moore or Dallas Goedert?
DJ Moore.
Really? I think Dallas Goedert's going to get a crap ton of targets in this game, don't you? Premium?
He didn't get a crap ton of targets last. I mean, why are they going to go away from A.J. Brown? Like, that's my argument. Like, why are they going to stop throwing the ball? Who can cover?
I got a bad feeling. You're probably right. I'm not going to say anything. William McNeil, Lamar Jackson, or Russell Wilson?
Still going to go with Lamar.
Agreed. Dominic, Rocio, Lance, or Carr?
I think Carr is much safer.
I would play Carr.
So, yeah.
I would play Carr and just be grateful. Again, you have to say, like, is Carr going to give me between 15 and 20 points? Yes. Yeah. Is there a scenario where Trey Lance doesn't? Yes.
There's a scenario where Lance doesn't even finish the game.
There's no, I don't think there's a way where Carr doesn't give you against Arizona 15 to 20 points.
Yeah.
Don't play Lance over Carr. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I have Lance and Carr in one league.
Well, I hope you're playing Carr. Let's go to another one here. Logan Thompson, full PPR, Bateman or Gage? This is interesting. Gage is more interesting to me now than ever.
Yeah, Gage. I mean, full PPR. I mean, Gage should get targets.
Bateman's got Xavier Howard this week too.
I like Gage in the full PPR. I haven't updated my rankings yet with Gage.
I moved him up, but I haven't moved him up that high yet. But
I mean, I think Gage is like he's probably they got to throw the ball to somebody. And Gage, when he was healthy, he was pretty good last year. So. Yeah, I mean, Gage. I mean, Gage may put up the CeeDee Lamb line where he has 11 targets and 2 catches, but if you're going to tell me he's going to get double-digit targets, then I got to take that guy.
Well, wasn't it like 5 and 3 last week or 5 and 2? Something.
He caught 0 passes on the outside.
He had Sauce on him last week, and this week he's got Xavier Howard. This is not a good Rashad Bateman, my number 1 trade target in week 3. Let's go. Let's go to Michael Lewis, who follows instructions. E. Moore or I. McKenzie?
E. Moore for me.
Michael, good job. Elijah Moore is who we picked. X the Abstract, Kareem Hunt or DAndre Swift in the half PPR. Now, this is kind of interesting here.
Testing our love.
This is testing us a little bit. I'm still playing Swift, but I would play Hunt in the flex. How about you?
Yeah. And it's like a similar thing where it's like, I mean, Kareem Hunt's on a snap share too, but
All right.
Swift. So yeah, I think Swift.
Before we head out of here, if you haven't already, subscribe to Fantasy Pros. Make sure you click that like button. Make sure you click the bell for the notifications till it goes ding. Also, don't forget about our sponsor, Monkey Knife Fight. Head over to monkeyknifefight.com and you can go and play. No math, no salary caps, no sharks, just daily fantasy props. Free $5 first game when you're signing up. Promo code is Fantasy Pros. It's what happens after 4 hours of talking. The voice gives out on you. Instant deposit match up to $100 on your first deposit, but you have to join the fight at monkeyknifefight.com. Let's get to another question here. Julio Acosta, DJ Shark, or Shepard in the full PPR?
DJ Shark.
All right. Oscar Ramirez, full PPR. Cole Kmet or Robert Tonyan? Ugh.
Kmet, full PPR.
Kmet. Can we talk about Kmet for a second, too? If it's another bad game here for him and he hits the waiver wire, is he somebody you would immediately go to pick up and have more patience with than the other person?
I think it really depends on what I want to see from his usage this week. I'm really interested because last week it's really hard to just get a definitive takeaway from just because of the game scenario. So if he's like running a route on 90% of dropbacks, like, you got to be on Kmet. But if it's down under 70% and the 65% where it's not elite, then you're not going to expect elite tight end production from a guy that's not getting elite tight end usage. So
right.
In that case, he just becomes, hey, if he has a good matchup, you just pick him up off the waiver wire, you stream him, and then you drop him the next week.
All right. Nino, DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, or Aiyuk? Pick two. Who's the odd man out? We know it's not DJ Moore for you. Aiyuk's the odd man out. Thiago Mello, Akers, or Mark Ingram?
I guess I feel more confident that Ingram is going to play. So I'm going to go with Ingram.
Okay. Last seconds here. Make sure you like the stream before we leave here. It's the right thing to do. Didn't your mother tell you do nice things? All right. We've got Khalil Herbert or Ingram, half PPR. Love the show. Thanks, Marco. That's from Marco Spina. Khalil Herbert or Ingram in the half PPR?
Got to go with Khalil Herbert.
I agree.
He's a stud. Even on 5 touches,
he's the better running back right now. Case closed. End of story. Let's hope he gets some work. Jordan Gesick, full PPR, DJ Chark or Elijah Moore?
I like Elijah Moore.
Darian Jaden, Rashad Bateman, or Devonta Smith as wide receiver 2?
I like Bateman.
But Bateman it is. All right, there you hit it. It's high noon. If you want to hit us up in other spots, you can obviously join our Discord at fantasypros.com/chat. It's free to join. If you're a premium member, though, you get to obviously get involved in our AMA channels where I know the boys are answering questions there. And of course, you can always follow us on all of our social media platforms on TikTok, on Instagram, and of course on the Twitter machine at Fantasy Pros. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Andrew Erickson, I'm Joey P. Enjoy week 2, everybody. We'll see you next time, kids.